we have a fascinating matchup between Manchester City and Fulham, both of whom got big wins last weekend and both of whom were inspired by African players to get all 3 points. Malek, I'm of course talking about Riyad Mahrez and Ademola Lookman. Which of the pair impressed you most last weekend?
Well, we have to go with Riyad Mahrez, getting another Premier League hat-trick, really getting off the mark for this season. Great performance overall. Makes you wonder. He always gives those glimpses of joy, but when he really gets a great performance out like that, he's given the start and he capitalizes on a poor team. He's able to really show us what he's about, that he is one of the best wingers in world football. I think you have to agree with that, Ed.
I mean, based on the evidence of the Burnley game, obviously you have to agree with that. But when you consider that in his previous 12 games, he'd scored only 1 and contributed another assist, that's just simply not good enough, especially in this Man City team with the options, the players he has buzzing around him. I just don't think you can really be saying he's one of the best wingers in the world game when he's had such a poor record in the preceding matches.
In terms of ability, we see him with Algeria.
Ability, there's loads. I mean, Jeremy Boga of Sassuolo is a fantastic player in terms of ability. No one can dribble like him, but he did more in his previous games than Mahrez did in his previous 12 matches.
I'm an advocate that Mahrez should move to a different club where he can have the spotlight. But even in the limited chances
maybe
he gets from Man City,
he'd have the spotlight at Burnley. Where would you send him? Where would you send Mahrez to have the spotlight?
Pepe for Mahrez swap. Could that be on the cards?
Oh,
Manchester United would be really good, to be fair. Him instead of Sancho.
Yeah, I could see that. What about Tottenham? Son
Kane
and Mahrez.
Yeah, I like Bergwijn though. I didn't realize the Man City to Man United switch.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, but in highest probability, it would be a move to France and PSG, I have to say.
Welsh winger Bill Meredith was another individual genius who played for both Manchester clubs, and someone maybe like Mahrez, who not everyone was a fan of his style, but he certainly ended up winning over both sets of supporters. But you've got to admit, I think both of us can agree that in terms of technical ability, flair, flamboyance, creativity, Mahrez is a sensational player.
But he has great end product too. Like you're talking about him like he's some skiller, but his end product is amazing.
He got 1 goal in the previous 12 matches. He got only 1 assist. Compare that with Ziyech against Sheffield United alone. Ziyech was simply sensational. Burnley and Sheffield United are struggling, so lots of players perhaps could do it against those two at the moment. But in terms of Ziyech versus Mahrez, what both of them have done so far this season, I mean, I think only one of those two is world class at this stage.
At this stage, obviously, yes, we can't necessarily throw him into that category after just 1 hat trick. But you have to think in a different situation. I'm really confident he could be matching Ziyech or any of these top attackers.
Yeah, but Alan St. Maximin of Newcastle, if you put him into the Man City team, do you think he would have done more in his previous 12 games than Mahrez has? He's a very talented player, very eye-catching, lovely at beating a man. You know, I watched him live at Nice against Toulouse, and he was simply unplayable. Do you not think if you put him in a slightly different... I think that argument works if it's about a player who's playing at Boreham Wood, but it doesn't work quite so well if it's a player playing at Man City, where he's surrounded by elite players.
Yeah, not even necessarily just that they're elite, but they have so many class wingers, and then in the middle of the park, Kevin De Bruyne. Riyad Mahrez can't be the focus of that team. So I think a lot of the reasons why we don't see him start is because he's not able to play as best as he can if he's not the main focus.
I don't know. I think it has a little bit more to do with perhaps his inability to influence the biggest matches, as we saw in the FA Cup semi-final.
You didn't see his goal against Zimbabwe.
Yeah, no. I mean, Zimbabwe, very talented outfit, but I don't think maybe that doing it against Zimbabwe compensates for failing to do it against Arsenal in that semi-final. He then wasn't trusted against Lyon in the Champions League, the decisive Champions League game, and I think ultimately Guardiola, like sadly large portions of the Man City fan base, are actually losing faith in him as a consistent game changer, unfortunately. Hopefully the game against Burnley can prompt a few people to reevaluate their opinions.